When speaking about heroes, who will come up first in your mind? They can be your parents, your friends, or your famous idols, but they all have one common thing: a superpower to make the world a more meaningful place to live, and nothing more powerful than education. Percy Julian is one of the proof of that. Education is essential in our everyday life, especially this modern day when the information is really instantly in our hands. With a strong desire of education, Percy Julian breaks down the institutional barrier of race and became one of the greatest chemists during the 20th century. I've never heard about his name or any of his contributions until I spent last 2 weeks doing research, read reports and articles about him, his life, and along with his achievements in medical field. So I want to deliver my speech today by explaining his three roles: his him as a talented chemist, Percy Julian as a dedicated teacher, and as a hardworking student. To begin with, we will reveal his college life. During the 90s, it was nearly impossible for Black people to have a solid education because of the racial, ethical, and it was even harder for Percy Julian because of his background. Percy Julian was born in April 1899 in Alabama. His grandparents was enslaved during the Civil War and being punished because they tried to learn read and write. Even though his parents really wanted to provide a proper education for their children, but the local school only had 8th grade, so Percy couldn't have a high school degree until he attended to the DePaul University. While he attending to the university, there were many restrictions to him because he was Black. For example, he couldn't stay in campus because he was the only student who was Black. He didn't allow to eat at the cafeteria. He had to rent a basement outside the school, and he also had to do multiple work to pay the tuition and support a living. At some point, he had to sleep in the attic. But luckily, he finished his degree at the university, at DePaul University, with an honors and have the opportunity to continue pursuing a higher level of education in University of Vienna, Europe, where racial prejudice is less than the America. And at that, he became fascinated with chemists and really want to return to the US to teach chemists and about a college he had learned from in Europe. And when he returned to America, he started teaching position at the DePaul University, at the Fisk University, and at the Virginia College for Black Students. He encouraged many Black students to continue studying and pursuing higher degrees to achieve the American dreams. But however, he also faced with some racial problems. Some of his lab assistants blamed him to having an affair with his wife, so he had to resign from teaching, and he turned to start to work at the Clinton, where he came up with the idea to extract the the sex hormones, chemicals such as progesterone and steroids for women to prevent miscarriages. He also found an effective way to extract it in a large number. So, in conclusion, he was one of the most inspirational reflection for anyone who wants to pursue the American dream, and always remember that education can make the impossible be possible. So always have a positive feeling about it and keep studying.